Tamil Nadu government cracks down on the Sterlite copper plant in Tuticorin, orders a permanent closure of the plant. BJP MLA from Ramnagar echoes fringe stand, objects to the presence of a Muslim youth in temple premises, threatens of dire consequences.
I have to convince Congress party. Now I am in the mercy of Congress.
As reports of friction emerge between the two allies, Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy says he is at the mercy of the Congress as wrangling over portfolios continues in Karnataka. Former UP CM Mulayam Singh Yadav approaches Supreme Court seeking permission to retain government allotted bungalow for 2 years, citing age and ill health. Delhi government proposes sweeping changes to curb hospital loot, proposes capping prices of medicines and profits made by the hospitals. Another year, another monsoon season, and Mumbai's roads are far from being rain ready. Mirror Now does a ground check of one of the city's most flood-prone areas, the Hindmata Junction. It's the 15th consecutive day when petrol and diesel prices have continued to soar. The revised petrol prices is now 78.25 in Delhi and 86.08 in Mumbai, and diesel meanwhile stands at 69.17 in Delhi and 73.64 in Mumbai. This is among other metros. Now, despite the national outrage over these soaring fuel prices, the government continues to provide only token assurances with no concrete action. The higher crude oil prices and their cascading effect on diesel and petrol rates has made it extremely difficult for the common man to maintain their budget. Take a look first at this special report.
Despite public outcry over fuel prices surge, petrol and diesel prices have been increased for the 15th consecutive day today.
हम लोग को बहुत परेशानी हो रहा है, जहाँ पहले हम लोग 50 रुपया 60 रुपया लेते थे, आज के रेट में 80 रुपया तक पहुँच गया। कीमतें लगातार बढ़ रही हैं, इसके लिए राज्य सरकार और केंद्र सरकार दोनों दोषी है।
इसका एक्चुअल रेट 30 से 35 रुपीस रेट है, और गवर्नमेंट क्या है, इस पे टैक्स वगैरह एक्स्ट्रा लगा के पब्लिक को पैसा खींच रही, उतना ही है और कुछ भी नहीं है।
The incessant hike in petrol and diesel prices has been mostly due to the high taxes. Data from Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited reveals that the central tax on diesel has increased by more than 300%, while on petrol it has jumped by more than 100% since 2013. That means that close to 26 rupees out of every litre of diesel and 37 rupees out of every litre of petrol go to central and state taxes. But as the monthly household budgets continue to go for a toss, the government offers only lip service, resorting to mere rhetoric.
So I am expecting that the next GST Council meeting, probably the state government, the stakeholders in the GST, probably they approve this proposal.
भारत सरकार इसको ध्यान में रखी है, संज्ञान में रखी है, बड़े संवेदनशील तरीका से उसको हम संभालने की कोशिश भी कर रहे हैं। मैं पूरा आशावादी हूँ, हम कुछ ना कुछ रास्ता जिसमें मध्यवर्गीय लोग, सामान्य लोगों को तेल की इस बढ़ती हुई दाम ना चुभे, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय परिस्थिति को हमने नजर रखा है, सारा विषय में कुछ ना कुछ रास्ता निकाला जाएगा।
Ever since the Karnataka polls have wrapped up, fuel prices have gone up every single day. No action has been taken by the government yet. The Aam Aadmis wait for the government to stop making hollow promises and take some concrete action continues. Bureau Report, Mirror Now.
Well, joining me on the phone line is Narendra Taneja of the BJP. Thank you very much, Mr. Taneja, for joining us. And again, once again, it's the same question that we've been asking literally day after day. Now we're looking at 15 days All right, we will try and reconnect with Mr. Taneja, but let's also listen into Union Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Dharmendra Pradhan said, and what he said, saying that the government is looking at a long-term holistic solution and perhaps bringing petroleum under the ambit of GST.
The present oil price hike is due to three main factors: hike in international price of crude, fluctuation in dollar and Indian currency ratio, and some of the tax issues are also there. For a long-term solution, Government of India is planning for a holistic strategy, bringing petroleum product within the ambit of GST is one among them. We are sensitive. Let's see how things are unfolding.
All right, well, so that is what Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan had to say as far as the fuel prices are concerned, citing three reasons for the hike in fuel prices, which includes increase in crude prices, dollar-rupee fluctuations, and also citing some tax issues as well. But the fact is that for the last 15 days, we've been seeing an increase in both petrol and diesel on a daily basis, and this ever since the Karnataka elections got over. Remember, just before the Karnataka elections, for a period of 19 days, we saw absolutely no increase. The daily adjustment of prices was stopped for that period of time in the run-up to the elections, and as soon as the elections got over, we saw this kind of rise happening. Let's go across Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Congress, who's joining us on the phone line. Thank you very much, Priyanka Chaturvedi, for joining us today. How do you respond to this consistent rise in both petrol and diesel that we've been seeing for the last 15 days now?
I would say that we are seeing an insensitive government which refuses to acknowledge the almost daily rise in petrol and diesel prices, which will have a huge impact on people's savings, on people's everyday expenses, and every part of the country is requesting the government of the day to take cognizance of this fuel price rise. But we have a government which is refusing to even acknowledge this. Why can't the central government direct the state governments to relook at their VAT charges? Why can't they try and make a difference by bringing it into the GST? The reason being, here is a government which is earning money at the expense of the Aam Aadmi, the common man. This is not the government that people had voted in for. And we have seen how systematically during Gujarat elections, they brought down the fuel prices despite a deregulation in fuel prices. And now we are seeing immediately after 20 days of no price rise or fall of the Karnataka elections, we are seeing prices consistently rise every single day, and a Prime Minister who stays quiet on it, and the entire cabinet which says that if we lower the price of fuel, you will have to also bear the budget cuts and welfare spending. This is extremely insensitive, and I would say that visionless idea that the government is pushing across.
So just today, in fact, Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan did say that they are actively looking at bringing petroleum into the ambit of GST, and that is something that is, perhaps they're looking at. So is that something that you would back if that does happen?
This is something that the Congress Party President, Shri Rahul Gandhi, had also asked the government to do. But we are seeing how instead of acknowledging this problem, they're trying to delay decision-making by talking about a GST. Before the GST, you can, you have state governments in various states. You can direct all finance ministers to relook the VAT charges. You can bring down the excise duty on petroleum products. The reason being that they are trying to benefit at the expense of common man. This is an insensitive government which refuses to acknowledge the pain that the people are going through because of consistent price rise. And if you talk about a price rise, here is also a government which had promised better fuel price in 2014. In his election campaign in Delhi, Narendra Modi had called himself the Naseeb Wala Pradhan Mantri. And while he continues to be the Naseeb Wala Pradhan Mantri for his government, by raking in the moolah coming through the fuel price rise and excise duties, you have the Badnaseeb people who have to bear the brunt of the expense.
So you think that states should also look at reducing the VAT and helping this common man in reducing the burden on them?
Absolutely. The state governments are well within their rights if they actually relook the VAT that they're charging on fuel price, and they have to bring it down. Historic highs have been reached in fuel prices, yet none of them have made any initiative to even acknowledge the problem or try and resolve a problem which is staring in the faces of the common man.
So is that something that now the newly formed Karnataka government would be looking at, reducing the burden as far as at least at the state level as much as possible?
While very interesting that we get that responsibility, and yes, we acknowledge our responsibility, but also we need to consider the fact that when a Prime Minister and when his deputy, the President of Bharatiya Janata Party, go about shouting all across the country that they have 19 out of the 29 states, they are in power in 19 states, you do not see the government taking proactive measures in actually addressing the problems of the people.
No, I am completely with you, absolutely, and that is a question that we have been asking the BJP, and we will continue to do so. But specifically, since you also mentioned that states should also take the responsibility, is that something that is going to be on the immediate agenda?
We understand our responsibility towards the people who have elected us into power. Let's not forget, when UPA was in power and Dr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, despite high crude oil prices, we ensured that the common man did not face the burden of high crude oil prices, and we ensured that we balanced it in such a way that it did not impact their wallets. But right now you're seeing a government which is seeing a low in crude oil prices, yet continuing to charge us high amounts in fuel prices. That is because the amount of tax that they earn out of fuel prices is twice of what we were charging from the common man every single day. This is the difference between them and us. We understand our responsibility, and here you have people who are irresponsible in power.
All right, well, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Priyanka Chaturvedi, for joining us with your perspective as far as petrol and diesel prices are concerned. In fact, this is something that has been a big burden on several common citizens. A lot of budgets, monthly budgets have been getting pinched. In fact, earlier today, protests took place in Kolkata as well over the soaring fuel prices. Protesters gathered outside the Raj Bhavan to protest this constant hike in prices that we've been seeing, and also ended up clashing with the police in the process. All right, let's shift focus now. Following a series of violent protests at Tamil Nadu's Tuticorin, the state government shut down the Vedanta Group's copper plant Sterlite. Remember, 13 people lost their lives in violent clashes with the police in Tuticorin. Locals were protesting against the Sterlite plant, demanding its shutdown, citing various health hazards. All right. This was the latest. That's as far as the entire Sterlite massacre is concerned. The Tuticorin massacre is concerned. The state government has shut down Vedanta Group's copper plant Sterlite. Remember that 13 people actually lost their lives in the violent clashes with the police in Tuticorin. Locals have been protesting against the Sterlite plant, demanding its shutdown, citing various health hazards, and that has been a demand for quite some time. And now finally the plant itself has been shut down, and this is following a series of violent protests in Tuticorin itself. Those are the visuals there on your screens of what happened earlier on in terms of the kind of protests that we saw. The Sterlite plant has now been officially sealed. Earlier on, the power itself was cut off. Let's in fact go across to Pramod, who's joining us at this point. Pramod, the big victory for the residents there as far as Tuticorin is concerned, the Sterlite plant finally permanently being closed off.
Well, it definitely is a big victory, but a costly one, we have to tell you again, because 14 lives have lost in one protest itself. And finally, the Tamil Nadu government comes forward and says that keeping in mind the emotions of the people, they have gone and taken the decision to shut down the plant permanently. However, there is a kind of clause in this particular GO passed by Edappadi K. Palaniswamy that is being brought forward by the analysts and experts, claiming that same kind of situation occurred in 2013 as well, when on March of 2013, Jayalalitha government keeping in mind that poisonous gases were released by the plant, it did shut down the plant. But within 6 months, the plant resumed operation once it got the permission from National Green Tribunal Board. This question was put forward to Edappadi K. Palaniswamy as well, but Edappadi calls this as a hypothetical question and denied to answer it for just asking the people to bask on this particular victory of Tuticorin people. He said that the Tamil Nadu government always works in the need of the people of Tamil Nadu, and he has requested the people of Tuticorin to cooperate with the Tamil Nadu government.
Right. So, Pramod, now as far as the situation in Tuticorin itself is concerned, give us a sense it's completely back to normal, would you say?
Well, the Tuticorin, almost we can say that the collector yesterday mentioned that the normalcy has come for up to 95%, that the Tuticorin city has started to project again, it started to work here again, but the anger did not subside. You saw yesterday how Kadambur Raju, the Minister for Information, was grilled by the patients, relatives and others in the general hospital when he went to meet the people over there. They posed some really serious questions about the shooting order, about how Tamil Nadu government can shoot, how the Tamil Nadu government can shoot its own people. Such questions were put forward that Kadambur Raju had to halfway cut through his visit and he had to leave. And today OPS, when the Deputy Chief Minister, when he went to meet the people, he almost had the same kind of feelings from the people. He met the same feelings. That's the reason the reporters were not even allowed to accompany him into the general hospital. But however, post which what has occurred is that this particular information by Tamil Nadu government, at least now coming forward and releasing a government order stating that the plant will be permanently closed, is kind of giving a breather to the protesters over there. Analysts and experts still call it that the government has to go forward, constitute the cabinet and produce some serious amendments seen to that the Sterlite plant cannot function there in Tuticorin permanently. But for now, Chief Minister claims that this itself is enough. We need to wait and watch if Vedanta is going to take any legal measures or not.
Right. And Pramod, if you can also take us through as far as the FIR itself is concerned, what are the details that emerged from that?
Certainly. For the past 5 days, everyone has been asking one question in the state of Tamil Nadu. That was, who gave the firing order? Who was responsible for the death of 11 people? However, nobody from the government's end provided any answer, be it the collector, SP, DGP. Nobody wanted to give an answer. The robotic answer was that a probe has been initiated, and once the probe is completed, the information will be provided. And we are also, Tamil Nadu has already been waiting for 2 probes for almost 2 years right now. 2017 beginning, Jallikattu probe that began in January. And 2017 mid, we had the Jayalalitha's death probe that started by September, but still now no answers has been provided in both probes as well. But this point, what happened is that we got the copy of an FIR copy that was filed in 22nd of May, where it has clearly stated that the complainant named Shekhar, one of the special Tahsildars, and another Tahsildar's name is Kannan. These 2 names have emerged, stating that Shekhar was a person who gave the order to SIPCOT inspector, claiming that as there was a law and order situation in front of the collector's office to save the people, he gave the shooting order to the SIPCOT police officer. And 8 kilometers away from the collector's office is where we have Terespuram, where the Tuticorin North Division police officer was given the shooting order by Tahsildar Kannan, who stated that same kind of issue was prevailing over there. The people in Terespuram completely abide this, claiming no, there was no such law and order situation in that area. In fact, that area did not come under any kind of protest at that point. So people are still resilient, and there are a lot of questions about the FIR as well. But for now, 2 names have emerged stating that who gave the firing order.
Right. So now that these 2 names have emerged, of course, like you pointed out, that there are, still questions being raised even after the FIR. But now going forward, how is this really going to play out with 2 specific people being named?
Well, apparently, the next issue in Tuticorin is going to be on May 30, when the bodies may be given back to the families, the 14 members who died on 22nd May. There was earlier talks that there could be definite clashes in that period, because after 22nd May, the relatives had died. Until that period, they had to wait, because autopsy, as per Madras High Court, should be done properly, and the Madras High Court has ordered the body to be preserved, because the Madras High Court was resilient to find out if there was any kind of laws that were broken, rules of engagement equipment that was broken. Of course, in that area we could see we had visuals of INSAS being used, attack shot being from long range, and all other visuals are there. That all those things come under the probe of Aruna Jagadisan, a retired High Court judge that has been appointed by the Tamil Nadu government, stating that this probe will bring out the truth as to what occurred on 22nd May, why 11 people were shot dead. However, the witnesses and the people who were present in that area have spoken to us. They claim that they were not just shot from long range, but also from close range, and they're like extremely unsatisfied with Tamil Nadu government's way of handling it. Even after Tamil Nadu government increased the solution from 10 lakh to 20 lakh to the dead, the people claim that no amount of money can bring back the life of their loved ones there.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Pramod, for getting us all those details. All right, shifting focus now. We're just days away from another year of monsoons, and Mumbai streets are far from rain ready. We have at Mirror now done a reality check of the city's traditional flood spot, the Hindmata Junction. The Hindmata Junction lies at the intersection of Dadar and Parel and gets flooded every year. It's extremely flood prone. But the civic body BMC had proposed an 800-meter long stormwater drain to counter this problem. However, only 200 meters of the pipeline, or 25% of the project, has actually been completed. Disha Shah gets us this report.
We are at Mumbai's traditional chronic flood spot, the Hindmata Junction. And as you can see, the area is saucer-shaped, and because of which it gets waterlogged every monsoon, creating massive traffic jams in Dadar and Parel, the neighboring areas. Last year, this time around, as per BMC report, Hindmata flooded 10 out of 14 times when Mumbai received heavy rain. And even this time around, the BMC officials, what they told us is that they have to adjust, Mumbaikars have to adjust this time also around due to this incomplete storm water drain project that you are currently seeing. 800-meter project was planned, and out of that, only 200-meter storm water drain project has been completed. With this, citizens fear for severe waterlogging issues this time also around during monsoon. And this is a similar situation we have seen in neighboring areas like Dadar, Parel, Lower Parel also for that matter, where we are seeing massive road repair work going on in these areas. We are just a couple of days away from monsoon. May 31st is the deadline. 1,800 crore rupees is spent only on road repair. 298 dewatering pumps will be installed across the city, and especially more in these areas like Hindmata, King Circle, and even Dadar TT for that matter. Spending over 520 crore rupees. Just a couple of days away from monsoon, and not even 60% of work is complete as per our own ground check. With camera person Naksim, this is Disha Shah reporting here for Mirror Now.
इस बार ये काम चालू है सब, जहाँ वहाँ तक काम वहाँ चालू है, लेकिन बारिश पड़ने के बाद बोल नहीं सकता है कि पानी भरेगा कि नहीं भरेगा, इसका अंदाज नहीं।
मुंबई तैयार नहीं है,
होएगा ही वो, क्योंकि इट्स अ लो लेवल एरिया, इट इज बाउंड टू हैपन। या गांधी मार्केट एंड Hindmata, these are the places which are going to happen because the level is not proper.
And you think BMC has done enough work?
I don't think so, because it happens every year for last so many years.
हर बार की तरह ये बार भी म्यूनसिपैलिटी कुछ नहीं कर रही है, सिर्फ वादा कर रही है। बड़े बड़े अक्षरों में, पेपर्स में अपना ये दे रही है कि हमने इतना साफ किया, इतना पंप बिठा दिया, ये कर दिया, वो कर दिया, लेकिन मुझे नहीं लगता कि कुछ हुआ होगा और कुछ भी ऐसे हम लोगों को शांति मिलेगी। लगता है कि उधर फ्लड होगा ही होगा और पब्लिक को परेशानी होगी ही होगी।
हर टाइम पानी भरता है, ये टाइम भी पानी तो भरेगा ही, कितना भी करेगा, लेकिन रास्ते भी खोदने का काम सबका चालू ही रहता है। बीएमसी वाला होने के बाद वो गैस वाला करता है, केबल वाला करता है, वो लोग खाड़ा भी बराबर नहीं भरते। इसमें हम किसको दोष दोगे? बीएमसी को दोष दोगे कि जो खाड़ा खोदते काम करते उसको दोष दोगे?
हमको अभी भी ये साल भी डर ही लगता है, शायद पानी भरेगा ही। हिंदमाता, किंग सर्कल, जिधर जिधर पानी भरता है ना, उधर पानी भरेगा ऐसा लगता है, क्योंकि सब जगह खुदाई काम तो चालू ही है, सब जगह पे।
Ravi Raja, the leader of opposition in BMC, criticized the government, saying work on the project should have started much earlier so that the augmented pipelines could have been ready by the monsoon. But the work only began in February this year.
The city is not ready for the rains. Lot of work is going on. Now, specifically when you asked about the King Circle and Hindu Mata, King Circle and Hindu Mata, I have been seeing waterlogging for ages and for years. BMC today being one of the richest, and they spend lot of money for the stormwater drain and for non-flooding. Lot of money is spent, crores of rupees are spent, and this is the public taxpayers' money. But BMC, I think, could not solve it. And there are so many, like engineers are there, lot of, big, top consultants are there. But still the BMC is not ready for the solving this problem. The BMC apathy is there that the work should have been started in the month of October. Why the work is being started in the month of January or February when they know that work will not be completed? I think lot of money is going down the drains, and BMC never has a proper planning. That's why this problem is happening. Mumbai being an international city, such problems where King Circle, why can't they solve it? They are spending crores of money. Why can't they solve it?
On that note, that's a wrap on this edition of The Big Story. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned tomorrow now.